Hey guys, welcome to another video from Just Two Dudes. Our friend David, who does a lot of the videos for us, has some questions he's going to ask. Kind of something new for us. We don't know what he's going to ask. Of course, it's all going to be about Husker football. So let's start it.
First question how's it going? First question I have for you guys today about Carl's responsibility with the defense. Last year, his responsibility was working with the D-line, and this year he's working as the D coordinator. Do you think that the D-line has suffered from that? Do you think that Carl needs to spend more time with the D-line to fix the problems, or what?
How much do you charge for mullets?
It's cut. It's gone. Really hurt me deep in the heart, but we're good to go now.
Okay, so back to the question. Yeah, Carl should spend more time with the defensive line, and Bo should spend more time calling plays. But who knows, maybe Bo's spending more time with the offensive line, doing more things with the offense, and that's why the offense is having success. I mean, we're not there at practice. We don't know what goes on. But yes, Carl and Bo both should spend more time with
I think Bo's trying to groom Carl for a future head coaching job that will probably be, you know, as a defensive coordinator / head coach.
Right.
So I think Bo's trying to give him a few more responsibilities, let him know what it's really going to be like. Although Carl was a defensive coordinator at Ohio, but that's not any kind of a major program. Yeah, I would love to see Bo return to his role as the overall D coordinator and Carl really go back to working with the D line because they are struggling.
Yes, I think
gotta go to the next
question. Another defensive question. I want to know about the dropped interceptions. You know, at the beginning of the year, we're making them, and now dropping everyone.
If defensive backs could catch the ball, they'd be wide receivers.
I just think it comes down to how bad do we really want it. I think last year's defense knew they had to make all the plays that they could make for us to win, and I think with the offense having success, they're not playing with the same desire and the same want, and that's why turnovers are down in conference play this year.
No, he was specifically talking about dropped interceptions.
I know, and I think they're dropping passes, which last year they would have caught, but I'm saying it's more the offense there, so they don't have to try so hard to win games for us.
Okay.
Another defensive question. I've read some stuff online about people saying maybe the black shirts need to be taken away, send a message. What do you guys think about it?
I think black shirts should be taken away for some players. I don't want to get into necessarily calling people out, but the position groups, the D-line...
Anyone that plays safety,
yeah,
you should be wearing a white shirt. Not red, not black. Just get rid of the red, everything.
Look at this guy.
I don't know. What kind of journalist are you?
Are you going to answer that one at all?
I could care less about the black shirts or what they wear in practice. You're a black shirt if you start and you're in the rotation immediately. Sometimes I think we pay too much attention to that, therefore the kids do. And sometimes I think when you wait so long to give them the black shirts, once they get them, they ease up. Now, when did they get their black shirts?
After Washington?
I think it was after Washington. I don't remember.
After we got 5 picks off locker.
Yeah, and I don't think you've seen, outside of the K-State game, you know, I could care less about the color of their practice jerseys.
That's a good point.
Last defensive question. I want to know, Bo said last year, through the offseason, the D's going to be better this year. I think it's kind of funny we're sitting here talking about all these defensive problems.
A lot of you hosers fell for it because you guys all trust that whatever Bo Pelini says is the gospel. You can go back to our earlier videos. I told everybody you have that Ndamukong Suh was such a powerful force from his position, and it was such a rarity to dominate games from a defensive tackle position. I said that our points per game would be 4 to 5 points higher. Well, guess what? It is. And I said our yardage would be 50 to 60 yards per game higher. And guess what? It is.
Yeah. I think the secondary and our pass defense up till last week against Oklahoma State has been better this year. And even against really good
Our pass
quarterbacks.
defense this year is not better than last year.
Well, I kind of disagree with that.
That's fine.
But I think as an overall defense, this defense...
Think of how easier a job they had last year because
Exactly.
you had Ndamukong Suh breathing down the quarterback's neck on half of the passing attempts.
Right. And
This year you don't have that.
And this defense we thought could be a great defense, not anything like last year where it was a really great defense.
Quit chewing your lip.
This year we might not even be a good defense right now.
We're not a good defense right now.
We're average at best.
Yep.
Our next question, who is the most consistent player this year on offense and defense?
Offense, I'd have to say Niles Paul has been so consistent with his inconsistency, but that's a cop-out. The most consistent offensive player, that I couldn't answer. Defensively, Dennard.
Mine on that, the offense.
Dennard, whatever.
I really think they don't get a lot of credit. Maybe I'm saying this because I played on the line, but I think Ricky Henry's playing outstanding. Even though the offensive line the last couple weeks hasn't been playing that well, I still see Ricky Henry taking his guy and putting him wherever he wants him. Ricky Henry's playing very good football right now.
Yeah, because you throw the word inconsistent, that takes away. You're not asking who the best,
right?
Who the MVP is.
Right now,
consistent.
If you're talking consistency, I would definitely go with Jared Crick. He's been consistently terrible in my opinion.
Well, okay.
Yeah, but on defense, I will agree with. Well, it's a tie between Dennard and Levante David for me.
Okay.
No, not Levante David.
Ask the next question.
Next question. Pat, since we've been in the Big 12, we've been looking at the offensive line, the D-line a lot, just because the D-line's getting their butt kicks. We talk about holding calls. We can't seem to get holding calls whatsoever, but we seem to get them against us. Just focusing on the Texas game in general, it seemed like they reviewed plays that were going to hurt us rather than help us, and then for Texas, they reviewed plays that were going to help them rather than hurt them. What do you think about that?
I definitely believe that there is a very good possibility that the Big 12, from the commissioner's office to the head of officials, I definitely believe that there's a chance that they said, make sure Texas wins this game, make it as hard on Nebraska as possible. We need Texas to remain dominant. Texas has 28 million people in the state. Nebraska is leaving. We need Texas to be on top, and I would not doubt one bit that happened. Usually you don't want to sit there and complain about referees, but it went past the on-field referees, and then it went up to the booth.
Yes.
And when stuff starts going up to the booth, as far as what to review and what not to review, that's when things get sketchy.
What review was it where the announcers couldn't even believe they didn't change the call?
It was a third down play when we were putting a decent drive together against Texas. We had gotten a couple first downs, and this is before Taylor was benched. They threw a pass to Kyler Reed on third down, and it's plain as day.
Yeah.
Kyler got 1 foot down, inbounds. Should have been a catch. Should have been a first down. And who knows what that could have done for the game. The booth didn't review it. The announcers couldn't believe that it wasn't being reviewed. And when I see stuff like that, I have to think.
See, the on-field refereeing, that's something that you can always chalk down to human error.
Exactly.
But when it's up in the booth, that's when people can start throwing allegations and accusations around.
Is instead of an in on his helmet, instead of an in on his helmet, if Kyler Reed had a Longhorn symbol on his helmet,
it would have been reviewed.
That play is reviewed, and it's a first down
more.
for Texas. Yeah. If it's a reverse situation, but because it was us, don't give it to Nebraska. They might come back.
I agree.
Last 2 games, the run game has been almost non-existent. Is it ever going to get rolling again, or what?
No. This offensive line does not run block. They don't move guys back. I think when you have the zone read, you transition yourself from a power running game into a finesse and a scheme running game. So I think instead of when we need that stalling drive where you need to grind up 7-8 minutes off the clock, or if it's third down and 4, unless Taylor Martinez keeps the ball, I don't think we get first downs.
Right.
This offensive line, their strength is in pass protection, and hopefully we will go with that. It is not in run blocking.
Yes. And
would you have said that 3 weeks ago?
Nope.
Yeah.
Never.
After the K-State game, I was a little worried, were we just taking advantage of inferior opposition?
Mm-hmm.
Then the K-State game, I was like, wow, all right, this rushing attack is all it's said to be. I mean, I'm thinking we're just as good as Oregon at rushing the football because we run very...
Yeah.
Exactly. And Texas laid the blueprint. Oklahoma State didn't really run the same thing Texas did. But their guys, we could not get them off the ball, and we couldn't contain them. And they
Rex and Roy against the 92nd ranked defense didn't even average 4 yards a carry.
That's all you need to say, really. The O-line has had troubles blocking. It needs to change if we want to be successful and we want to get to the Big 12 championship.
Or we just severely commit to the passing game.
Yes.
Got 2 more questions left here. First one, PJ Smith, Tenars, West. Who's the best safety?
None of them.
None of them?
In one of our first videos, somebody left a comment. They thought it was funny because Seth brought up Matt O'Hanlon and
Larry Asante.
Larry Asante. And he
About how
asked,
to replace them. How can we replace people
is
like
PJ
that?
Smith or one of the Osborne kids, and I forget the other one because I don't think Ricky was being mentioned all that much at that time. Were they going to be better? And I exploded through the camera and I said they better be. Well, at this point in the season, I would give half of my paycheck to bring back Larry Asante and Matt O'Hanlon.
They, at the end of last year, they were playing very consistent, solid football. Even though Asante had a bunch...
Texas would not rush for 209 yards. Kendall Hunter wouldn't have rushed for 200 yards.
No. This defense lost, to me, their 3 most consistent players last year.
Yeah, yep.
I mean, out from about the 7th...
4. O'Hanlon, Dillard, Asante, and Sue.
Exactly. Our corners, our secondary was good. The corners were good, but
back to the question, which one of them is the best?
They're all bad to me. Neither one can tackle. PJ Smith has made more interceptions, so to answer the question, I'd go with Smith because he's gotten more turnovers, but he's also missed countless tackles. They all miss tackles. They take horrible angles to the ball carrier, and right now...
Yeah, I couldn't say which one of them was better.
The only reason I say PJ Smith is just because he has more takeaways. That's
okay. Go ahead.
The only reason.
Last question. Bo said last week that he needs to relook at his basically his home game routine. He said he's gonna basically needs to make some changes because obviously it's not working. We can't win at home.
The only change you can make is to tell half the fans to stay home. I still think when our kids come out, they see almost 90 or about 85,000 people cheering their name. I think our players think that they can do nothing wrong, and even if they do something wrong, the fans are still going to love them. Let them come out after the Texas game and see that the house is half packed and that they really let us down. Let those kids feel that burn. Then the home field advantage means something.
I think it stopped because I think they knew how much we wanted that Texas game, and I think they understand that. And I think this coming week against Missouri here, I think you'll see a completely different team than the last couple of times we've played at home.
Well, I've even heard, friends on Facebook and stuff like that have been saying that we put too much pressure on them, and I see it just the opposite.
Yes.
I
They
think
put too
we
much
make
pressure on themselves.
Well, no, anybody who's playing in a major conference should. I think maybe we make them too soft with all our what's the word, admiration, and constant praise we give them. Well, anyway, that's it for our interview, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and it was something new for us.
Hopefully
Take care.
we can do this again.
Maybe.
Maybe they won't like the hair now either.
Thanks.